So this is a somewhat old Orcust deck I've been working on. I've actually been working on it off and on for the last month. This is the first draft that you're going to see in the replays, and I'm going to go over a bunch about this and what is going on. So for the original first version of the deck that I made, I had 2 Harp Horrors. I only have 2, so I only have 2 in the deck. 2 Kiteroid, 3 Cymbal Skeletons. I would trade one of these for a Harp Horror if you have a third one. 3 Sundews. 1 World Wand, 2 Brass Bombards, 2 of the Einsatz. I don't even know what it's called. I actually eventually get rid of this card, but it's useful for a bit. 3 Orcustrated Return, which is pretty much pot of greed, and it benefits by having a Orcust in the graveyard. 2 Karma Cuts, and then this is before Xyz summoning, so I do not have any Xyz cards in here. We got 2 Chimeras, 1 Doom Dragon, which is like the main boss monster pretty much. Archfiend's Call, Samsara, Assault Blackwing, and that's it. The extra deck changes a lot. You can see that I don't even have a 7th card because, like I said, this is before the Xyz came and an extra deck slot opened up. And I don't have a level 4, which you're going to notice, which is actually really crucial to have this deck, is to have a level 4 Dark Syncro. So pretty much the idea of this deck, this card, I don't know how to pronounce it, will, on your opponent's summon, will let you send a Orcust from your deck to the graveyard, which is nice for being able to specifically choose to send Harp or Skeleton or Bombard. And then Orcustrated Return will get rid of one of your Orcust cards in order to draw 2 cards. And then Sundew will let you discard a one of your Dark Machines in order to summon Chimera, and then Chimera can activate to banish, and then you can use, let's say you use Harp for the fusion summon. You send Harp to the graveyard, summon Chimera, use Harp in order to special summon Brass Bombard, and then the level 7 plus level 1 equals Infernity Doom Dragon. So let's say you banish with Chimera, special summon into Doom. As long as you don't have any cards in your hand, you can use Doom's effect to destroy a card on the field, and if it's face up in attack mode, your opponent will lose half of its attack in life points. So that is the main concept. Karma Cut will help discard and banish. Karma Cut is very helpful, obviously, for reasons other than it discarding a card. Then Kiteroid, I eventually get rid of, but it was nice to have a little bit extra protection in case you had a really bad opening hand. I'm using Life Charge with Igami, and you're going to see that through the whole thing. This is not the best skill to use. This is just what I was doing to fool around. I believe I was actually going for Igami skills, but I have other versions of this deck. So eventually, not in the replays, I go on to a version 2. The version 2 looks like this. I don't normally have Goblindbergh in here, but it was just fun to fool around with when Xyz came out. So I'm running, because I completely forgot this card was in the game, but I'm running 3 Scrap Recyclers. Scrap Recycler will let you summon it and send any machine card level, any machine card from your deck to the graveyard. It's other effect I never use, but you pretty much like return, return 2 level 4 Earth machine monsters from your graveyard to your deck. I don't have level 4 Earth machine type, so it was never used. But you can special summon him, normal or special summon him, send any Orcust to the graveyard to use their effect. So instead of 3 Skeleton, I'm running 2, then a Sundew like normal, and then a World Wand and 3 Bombards with the returns, but no of the other spell card, 2 Karma Cuts. Then the extra deck is very similar, but I'm running Underworld Fighter Balmung. I use my Dream Ticket on him, not gonna lie, because I didn't really care to use it on anything else. He's really helpful because having a level 4 is very easy to make, especially when you have Scrap Recycler. You summon Scrap, send Harp, Harp will search for and special summon Bombard, and then Scrap and Bombard will make Balmung, and then you have level 4 Syncro. Then if you have Brass, can special summon a Orcust from your hand if you have one. Archfiend's Call. I was running Utopia, never really summoned him, and Grenosaurus, I never really summoned him either, because you can only special summon dark monsters when you use Orcust's effect, which is one of the reasons Sundew works really well, because it's a dark monster. So with this, it's pretty easy what I explained. Now I have another version that I'm going to go over really quick. I'm going to actually just search. I'm not going to show you the version, so pretend you get rid of the Girgan Goblin dude, and you search up Machina, because it's not Machina like everybody says, it's Machina. So you look up, oh my gosh, I should have just been more specific. Did that not work? Oh, that's why. So you search up Machina. You get Machina Fortress, not Machina, it's Machina. I have the structure deck right in front of me too in real life, the TCG. So in actually the TCG, an old Orcust build, would you be using Machina Fortress, Scrap Recycler, and Orcust cards? Harp Horror is banned into TCG because of how strong it was. But anyways, so you run Fortress and sometimes maybe even 2 World Wands, because what what Fortress does is you special summon him from the graveyard or hand by discarding level 8 or the addition of like a bunch of cards to make level 8 machine monsters from your hand, and then you can special summon him from the graveyard or your hand. You can if he's in your hand, you can send himself and a level 1 to make level 8 and special summon. He's also good because level 7 plus level 1 I can make Infernity Doom Dragon very easily. He is Earth though, so if you want to special summon your Orcust cards, you want to summon Fortress first. So maybe you could send summon Recycler, send Fortress, send Fortress to the graveyard, use World Wand to send Fortress from the graveyard to the field. World Wand can use its effect to either special summon a second World Wand, maybe you're running a World Legacy Claw thing, whatever it's called, or maybe you use World Wand's effect in the graveyard to special summon a banished Orcust card. So a lot of combinations you can go down. Pretty much you want to use My Monster cards, level augmentation, level reducer if you're running a certain kind of XYZs. I don't believe there's any dark XYZ monsters right now, so you have to work around what you got. But pretty much that's it. I've been playing with a lot of different versions of the Orcust cards and a lot of different builds. As you can see, I went through 3 really quickly. This is not my final one. This says version 4 because I threw in Goblindbergh and I called it version 4. It's not really version 4. I just like naming it things. I'm running it with Fiendish Chain, running it with a bunch of other things. But this is pretty much my favorite way to play it with Sundew, Harp, Recycler. Recycler is kind of bricky when you have a Sundew and a scrap Recycler and an Orcust Return and a Karma Cut, where you can't really do anything at that time at all because none of those cards work together. So I've been playing with the amount of Scrap Recyclers and Machina Fortresses. I only have one right now, but I'm thinking about digging for a second one, and I want to definitely get a third Harp Horror because they're really important. But yeah, that's pretty much the basic of the deck. You can summon whatever. Another fun thing you can do is you can use level Aug to summon Utopia by using Bombard on the Recycler by level, like summon Recycler, send Harp Horror, or send Symbol Skeleton. You use level Aug on your Scrap by showing Bombard, make him level 4, special summon Harp Horror. You can't special summon Utopia that turn, but like that's options you could do if you have a level 4 Dark, you know what I'm saying? And also you can use level Aug on Chimera to boost its level, which is fun for its effect. And that's pretty much it. It's a lot of stuff going on. I have different versions of the deck I've been working on, but that's pretty much what I was doing. The first deck I showed is what I did in all these replays. Is 5 replays from the KC Cup that went on in September. And yeah, I've been working on this deck for a month and a half or whatever. Hope you like it. I haven't been around. I got a lot of technological problems and life stuff going on, so I haven't been making that many videos, but I hope you enjoy the replays.
It's time to do.
So this is my first replay I'm going to show you against Taya. I'm using Igami, like I said before, and if you skip past it, I don't blame you. It's an 8-minute deck profile, but I'm using Life Change. You don't need to use that. Use whatever you want. So this is when like I said before, I was running a different build of the deck with this spell that I normally don't. So when he summons a monster, I can send any Orcust I want to the graveyard. I send Harp because Harp is the best one to send. That's why it's banned in the TCG. So he's using a Dark Magician deck. I use Harp on my second turn to summon Bombard. He econs my Bombard into attack mode. No big deal. He summons Dark Illusion. Then because he's special summoned, I can send a Orcust from the graveyard, a summon, go into Samsara, and then use Orcust Bombards to summon the skeleton, and then the other card in the graveyard to summon Harp. I can't do much with that, so I sit on it. He Galaxy Cyclones me, all this stuff. He attacks. Samsara is still there. I summon Harp, get Clammy. Sundew will make, I just call him Clammy, then Sundew is confusing. I just summon Sundew, use Sundew to make Chimera, use Samsara to make Archfiend's Call, attack with both of them for lethal against Taya. And that is the first duel, very easy. Next duel we're going against Igami with a dual level up going on because it's KC, I keep wanting to call it the KCGT, but it's just a KC Cup. So I activate the normal spell, or it's a continuous spell, but you know what I mean. And I get to summon Sundew to Chimera, get Harp, Karma Cut this Chimera, attack into a face down. It is Shironui. He will summon the Shironui Samurai to banish card, boost its attack. and send a card back to his hand. It is Shade, Spectral Sword Shade. He attacks, no big deal. I use Return, draw 2, discard 1. Well, discard 1, then draw 2. Or, yeah, discard the Orcust. So he Cosmic Cycle into my face down because it was a decoy. I like to do that because of all the back row. Everybody wants to get rid of Karma Cut and Fiendish Chain. So setting a spell sometimes is fun because I'll waste Cosmic Cycle on it. So Wonder Wand will special summon a banished Orcust or World Legacy. I summon Harp, I special summon Bombard, and I have the other card. I make Doom Dragon, destroy him because I got no cards in my hand for 1200 damage. Summon Bombard, use Return on Bombard. Summon Chimera with Sundew, and he surrenders before I can go in for lethal. Because if you don't know, Doom Dragon, you cannot attack the turn that you destroy the monster with a special effect. So there's that. Okay, up next we're going against Yusei Fudo, who's actually also running Shironui. I remember this from when I recorded the replays. So I get to open with a mediocre hand. I don't have that much I can do. He's activating a Pyramid of Wonders, which Shironui doesn't normally use. I don't know why he's doing it in the KC Cup. I summon Harp, attack to his face down, no big deal. Can't really do much more, so I summon Brass, go into the Blackwing. The Blackwing cards I don't normally use anymore in this deck. It's just a level 5 that isn't Samsara, and I didn't have Balmung, the fighter, at this point, so I didn't know what to fill my extra deck with. Anyways, he's got level 4, level 3 on the field. He Book of Life's my Wonder Wand and his one of his Spectral Sword people. You know, all the fun Shironui stuff that they do. I Life Charge because I don't think I'm going to survive another round with only 2,300 life points. He summons Spirit Master, Special Summons, Synchro Summons, get Shogun Saga, boosts up to almost 5,000. Attacks into me, I'm in defense mode, no big deal. Summon Harp, summon Bombard, make Samsara. Send Harp to the Banish to special summon Skeleton so I don't die. Special summon Bombard, go into Archfiend's Call, attack. Pyramid of Wonders or whatever it's called. Protects his Shironui from destruction. I Kiteroid, this is why I was running Kiteroid in earlier builds, because stuff like this would happen a lot without having other cards to use like Scrap Recycler and Machina Fortress and all that stuff. So I use my 2 Kiteroids to survive the battle. Use Skeleton to summon Bombard and summon Sundew. Sundew and Bombard together will make Chimera. Chimera can banish a Shironui on the field. I choose one of the Samurais. I attack into his other one for lethal. And that's the game against Shironui. So Orcust and Chimera and Predaplant are actually pretty important in this Orcust build, which I don't like having to rely on Orcust as a crutch, or no, as Predaplant as a crutch for the Orcust to actually work. But I really like the Predaplant deck and combo, and just the way that they actually have a synergy together is really nice. And despite this being an Orcust profile, I do enjoy Predaplants being in it, even if it's only Sundew and Chimera. So next up we got Pegasus. The opening hand is never really crazy good. It never does very well with this build unless you have a Sundew, and it's kind of also negative. Like, sure, you can use Return to, you know, get rid of a card and hopefully draw into Sundew, which is the idea of having Return pretty much. For like example like this, where I didn't even draw into anything I could do. I just set a face down card, he eyed to my assist. Luckily I have Karma Cut, but Magician of Chaos can pop a card when spell or trap's activated. I get to use Return, I finally pull a Sundew, but I don't have a Dark on the field. So I get to special summon Harp, summon Sundew, use Sundew to make Chimera, use Wands to special summon Harp back on the field. Then Skeleton, then use Harp in the grave to summon a second Skeleton. And if I had level 3 Dark Xyz, I could have special summoned him, but that doesn't exist in the game right now. Wow. So we've seen Orcust work relatively well against Shironui and Dark Magician, and this was a month ago before some of the stuff changed on the ban list and whatnot. So it's actually nice to see that they can compete against, in like a, it's not really high rank, it's only version 1, or it's only level 1 of the KC Cup, so it's not high ranking at all. It's really easy to get to stage 2, but it's still competitive in nature, obviously, and it's nice to see that Orcust and even with Predaplants can hold their own against decks that are meta or used to be meta a few days ago. So this is going against Arrow Mages, obviously, and Arrow Mages are a big stall deck that will whittle you away. And I was actually able to, obviously, because it's included, you know I'm going to win. I don't think I would showcase a loss unless it was a very, very, very close loss. And I should have won, and maybe I misplayed or something. But in this case, obviously I'm going to win. So it's nice to see that they can even handle, they're very, like, I can't even speak right now, but they're able to handle a lot of different situations where Shironui makes really big monsters and beats over you and is beneficial for them to be banished, which is the main idea of this deck, is to banish. It can go against Dark Magician, which banishes you, and it can go against Air Mages, which just gain life points and whittle you away with the Stall version. And I was able to actually get over all these different obstacles with this deck, which is really interesting to see how, I bet you, as long as they don't ban Harp Horror or limit him, I think this deck will actually be much more powerful if we can get a few more cards that benefit this kind of play, maybe more Orcust cards, especially the XC's Orcust cards. But eventually, so I'm going to go explain this a bit. So Samsara, he must have not read, because I special summon Harp. Harp gets floodgated, I attack in with Skeleton, he uses Aroma Gardening and Dried Winds. Dried Winds will then pop my Samsara, but when Samsara is destroyed by card effect, I can special summon from the graveyard, I special summon Chimera and reduce and boost, and can destroy him and win. So also read your cards, guys. Don't just pop a level. He had 100 attack and I had him in attack mode. Why would you pop that? What's that gonna do? Nothing. 100 attack unless he had 100 life points left. I keep going off on different trains of thought, but I think Orcust can be very powerful as reasons why they had limited and banned cards in the TCG. And with more maybe Machina, Scrap, or Orcust support in general, it could eventually get to a higher power level, which will be interesting. So here you'll see I have Black Salvo in my hand. I very briefly experimented with Salvo. Salvo requires a level 4 specific, not level 4 or lower, level 4 Dark Machine in the graveyard to special summon, and I only have 2 Harp Horrors, so it's not really worth it to run even one Salvo if I only can use it with one other card that I have 2 of. But luckily right now in this replay, I have a Harp Horror, so I can summon Salvo, special summon Harp Horror, but then I have to use Return because I didn't have a level 7 Syncro in my deck. So I summon Skeleton, go into Archfiend Called, use Life Charge to boost my life points up to 1200, or up by 1200. Get to use Return again, finally get a Sundew. Use Skeleton to special summon Harp, that way I can use Sundew and Harp, or Sundew and whatever's in my hand. Attack into this Greydale, go with 1000, Harp is around 1700, Greydale Dragon uses its effect to special summon Greydale Slime Jr. I have to end my turn because I cannot attack anymore. I use my Chimera's effect, but it gets negated by his trap card. I use Return on Harp. Harp will help me get another Sundew. Sundew can make Chimera, banish the card finally. Special summon Bombard. I would have gone into Infernity Dragon and attacked for lethal. And that's pretty much the entire combo. That's the replays. Those are the combos I have. Other than that, I'm going to probably make a follow-up video. This video is pretty long on its own, but I'm also going to make a follow-up with the Machina Fortress and the Scrap Recyclers on their own little thing, because this was just an early build that I made a while ago, and I've been playing with a different version of Orcust, a different version of Predaplant, and based off how well my Predaplant video did a month ago, so it's been a long time since I made a video, I really want to try other Predaplant builds to see if that will continue, or is this a one-time thing where that video did really well compared to all my other ones. So I hope you like the video. Hope you like the in-depth analysis of the deck and the different builds and different ideas you can try. So let me know if you have any other extra deck recommendations or main deck recommendations, because I always want to improve this. I really like this deck. Other than Predaplant Pure or with like a little side text, this is one of my definitely favorite builds I've made on my own without like copying it from net decking or you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, peace out.